everyone, it's Natasha Red here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another episode of the Regal Royals. If you're excited for today's episode, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on future episodes. And for the love of goodness, guys, if you actually enjoy, please leave me a comment down in the comments below, because sometimes you guys don't leave me any comments and it makes me wonder, did you not like the episode or what? So I would love to know your thoughts on these episodes, because I do put quite a bit of work into them, and one of the rewards and enjoyment for me is seeing what you guys think of the characters and the storyline. And even if you have some critiques for me, that's totally cool too. I just would love to know your guys' thoughts. But nonetheless, I really appreciate all of you who do watch, and I hope that you are enjoying the series. But in today's episode, we're going to be doing a little update on King Fletcher, and we're also going to see a little family gathering with the Royal Komorebi family, and finally we're going to end it off in Willow Creek. I don't have too much planned for this episode, and it honestly may be shorter than normal. I'm not sure yet, but it's gonna still be good. So let's go on ahead and get into it. Alright, you guys, so I wanted to give you a quick update on King Fletcher. As you can see, he is resting right now, which he definitely should be. So they do have an official diagnosis that King Fletcher does have Crohn's disease, and unfortunately it was caught in the later stages. So as a result, he is going to potentially have lifelong complications involving this disease, but he has been recovering very nicely, and he is on track to be going home in a few weeks. So they've been here, I would say, a couple months at this point. I would say about 2 months, and Fletcher should be home within 2 weeks. So that's really good. So he has been getting very attentive care from the Komorebi nurses, from the royal nurses that take care of the royals. So he is getting top of the line care. He's been partaking in a lot of natural remedies, and as you can see here, partaking in a lot of rest, which is very well needed, and he should be in decent shape to go back home soon. So I know that will make him very happy, but our good old King Fletcher, he will be back to normal soon enough, but he will potentially have some complications later down the road, especially now that he is getting older. As you can see by his hair, he is an adult now, and this has taken a toll on him and possibly even aged him a little bit more. So that's very unfortunate, but he is very blessed to have been able to get top of the line care and to have his family by his side, which, you know, that's definitely always going to cheer you up and uplift your spirit when you're going through a hard health crisis like this. But he is expected as of now to make a full recovery. And also, I just wanted to touch on Prince Braden real quick and Adeline. They were sitting down having dinner together, but you know, in the last episode, Braden and Adeline were going through a little bit of rockiness because of Adeline finding out through the blogs and tabloids that Siren was here and not finding that out from Prince Braden. Well, they've been here together now for a little over a week. Adeline and Braden have really gotten a chance to bond, because when Braden is in Newcrest, he really has to focus on his royal duties as heir, and so he doesn't get as much time to spend with Lady Adeline, especially the past couple months since he's been here overseeing his father's health. So Adeline is actually really happy and really cherishing this time with him, and they've been getting along really well, and they have been continuing to bring up marriage and how excited they are to get married. So that is really good. Okay, you guys, so we are at the Komorebi Palace, and we're having a small family gathering because today is the Dowager Empress's birthday, and no, she is not dying in today's episode, but she's having a birthday without aging up, you know what I mean, because she's already an elder, and she just wanted to do something really small. So she's having a special hot pot breakfast with her family. As you can see, she's kind of looking at Lu Wei like she wants to say something, but she's kind of holding back. But I'm sure she's gonna be like, you know what, this is my day, so I'm just gonna say what I want to say. So grandma be having some feelings and thoughts that she keeps to herself a lot, because she knows her daughters don't really want want to hear it, but I think that she's gonna unload today. Okay, so we see that they're all enjoying themselves, having their nice meal, and actually Empress Lena says to Prince Fuko, I heard that you had a interesting encounter with Siren. What's that about? And Fuko says, well, actually, let's talk about Brayden. He was super disrespectful, all because he thought I was trying to hit on Siren when I wasn't. So you need to watch out for him, and also you need to watch out for Clara too, because they haven't been the most present. And she's like, son, that's not what I was asking about. I was asking about Siren. Just don't worry about that type of stuff and just focus on your royal duties and let me deal with the internationals, because Fuko is like, I don't like them and we shouldn't trust them and they're no good. And you know, see how the grandmother is nodding her head because she doesn't really trust them either. But Lena is like, just let me focus on the international affairs and you focus on your royal duties. And Fuko says to his mom, don't worry, I'm focusing on my duties because my duties are gonna get you off the throne and put me on it, so you don't have to tell me to focus on them. And of course that is super disrespectful, but what greater would we expect of Fuko? And he's laughing about it. And I know his mother is kind of holding in her emotions, but I'm sure that was really hurtful because, you know, in order for Fuko to be emperor, his mother has to pass away. So that's really mean. But now that the pot has been stirred, I think that the Dowager Empress has something on her mind too. So let's see what she's got to say. So Dowager Empress has said, okay, well, since we're talking about, look at you, Lynn. But anyway, she said, since we're talking about international affairs, let's talk about the deal that you made with Queen Lauren, Lu Wei. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So Dowager Empress is like, before you try to lie and say that you didn't, just know that you will be in trouble for treason and punished thoroughly if you try to insult my intelligence and say that you didn't, because Dayu told me there was something going on and you will not punish her. You will not hurt her or Song. So Lu Wei is saying, you know, it's really unfair that you try to say these things about me, and I feel like you've always been like this just because of my father's infidelities and mistakes. You always take this anger out on me, but actually Dayu is very sadly mistaken and she should learn to stay in a child's place because she got the information wrong. If anything, I was only attempting to secure a deal for the Empress to ensure that we benefit from this new alliance. And Lu Wei is saying that Queen Lauren offered him a royal title in Newcrest and 10,000 simoleons, but he declined that. And he said, and I will say something to Dayu because she's my child and she had no right to involve herself in international affairs or affairs that adults were dealing with. And Shangguo is like, you know what? I don't believe you. And I'm going to verify that with Lauren myself because I don't trust you. And don't forget, you only have the title of trusted advisor because your sister pities you. Don't think it's because we actually trust you. Yulin should be the one that's trusted advisor, not you. But she already has a higher title of Duchess. So that is what Shangguo is saying to Lu Wei. And why is Bokin... Bokin's just casually coming in his swimsuit, but Yulin is walking away because she's like, I don't want to get involved in that. I'm not trying to deal with that. But Lu Wei and Shangguo are going back and forth, and he's like, you only treat me like this because your husband wasn't faithful to you. It's not my fault you couldn't keep your husband. And they actually stayed married until death, but that's really disrespectful. And Empress Lena is stepping in, and she's saying, Mother, you will not check with anybody on anything because I am the Empress. So now you have to let me do my job as the Empress. You will not verify anything and you will stay out of it. And she's also telling her mom, look, Mom, you need to be kinder to Lu Wei. Being mean to him is not going to change what happened between you and Dad. It's not going to bring him back. It's not going to do anything but cause division in the family. So you need to stop. So Lena is saying you need to stop and you need to be kinder to each other, because I know she doesn't like her mom looking down upon Lu Wei because he's illegitimate, and she doesn't like Lu Wei disrespecting her mother, and she doesn't like that her mother tries to step over the line as far as her duties. Once her father died, she became Empress, and Shangguo has to accept that she is not in control and she can't, you know, do stuff. And so Yulin, you can see she's over here and she's trying to change the mood because she's like, guys, I'm pregnant, my baby doesn't want want to hear all that. Little does she know her babies, but she's like, I'm not going to stay around if you guys are going to keep up this stressful bullcrap. So you guys either get it together or me and Boken are leaving. Empress Lena's kind of de-escalating the situation now because she definitely doesn't want her sister to leave. That was just a little piece of confetti, guys. Sorry about that. So I feel like Lena is probably internally really pissed off, but she's putting a smile on her face to be respectful to her mother because this is her special day. But I'm sure Xianghua is saying to her daughter, listen here, mark my words and heed my warning. I may have some reservations about people, but I've also been alive a long time and I have a lot of wisdom and intuition. And you are gonna be ultimately betrayed by trusting the wrong people and not listening to people's warnings when they try to give them to you. And so she said, I'm not gonna mess with Lue again, and I won't mention another word about this situation. But just know, if you don't start thinking about some of the things I said, I have a strong feeling that you're gonna regret it. So I think that Duchess Yulin is quite upset because, you know, seeing her mom and sister argue and her half brother, she's like, you know what? I'm about to leave because I'm pregnant. I can't deal with this stress. I'm out of here. Boken just left. Who is that also that just left? Song. People are getting ready to leave because they're like, I'm not about to deal with this anymore. And so I'm sure Yulin is really upset. And look at Dowager Empress Xianghua's relationship bar with Lue. It is so red, and she's such an easygoing person and lovable person that it's definitely not easy to make an enemy out of her, but she is in the very red with him. And let's see how she's feeling. She's feeling good for the most part. I would love to see how is Lue feeling. Oh, it makes him happy when he gets to be a little bit on the mean side, and he's envious from being jealous because you guys know he's really, first of all, he wasn't honest about what he told the Dowager Empress. He lied and said that he declined that $10,000 and that Lauren just offered him a royal title. But in actuality, he was the one trying to get something out of Lauren. She wasn't initially planning on doing any of that stuff, and he kept that money. So it's very interesting how he tried to spin it. And it's also interesting that Xianghua was like, well, I'm gonna see from her if that's the truth. And it is quite interesting that Lena is like, no, I don't want you meddling into this business, mom. So that is really something. But I think that that little celebration didn't go quite as planned. Let's see how Fuko is feeling after disrespecting his mom. He's feeling happy. And let's see, does he have any negative relationships? Oh, he and Yulin don't get along very well. I think that Yulin has a shorter fuse for dealing with the BS of the family, so she bounces when stuff gets too out of pocket, whereas Lena is more easygoing and more patient with that kind of stuff because her mother trained her to be that way since she knew she was going to be the empress. Okay, you guys, so we are in front of the Espanza Castle in Willow Creek, and we're here because we've got some things to get into. Queen Leona is fishing because she is upset. She is upset because they just got back not too long ago from their royal tour from Komarebi, and she had such a wonderful time there. She really bonded with the Sultan and Sultana, and she was so excited to meet some other monarchs. So Queen Leona is actually upset because she left trusted advisor Countess Zuri in charge while she was gone. You know, she knew that Ariana would be a challenge, but she told Zuri to give her kind of like some tests to see how she would behave while she was gone. And what happened, you guys saw the episode. You saw that Ariana, she addressed the nation in a speech that was televised, and it was watched by pretty much the entire kingdom. There were people present. There were even royals from far off lands present. And Ariana stuck to the script until the end, where she tried to throw in getting herself her own holiday, which was very premature because the only royal in this kingdom that has one is Queen Leona, not even her husband, because remember, in this kingdom he's technically a prince consort and he only has the title of king as like a gift from his wife, but she is the sovereign ruler, so she is the only one with a royal holiday like that. And Queen Leona tried to have it written into law while her parents were gone, and unfortunately what happened, something that Princess Ariana Ariana was not expecting is that she actually tried to bribe a staff member to get this written into law. And when the staff member got this money, she bounced. And now she has told a tell-all exclusive to a lot of different media outlets, basically detailing what it was like working for the Esponza family and what it was like dealing with Princess Ariana while she was gone. This woman has shared in great detail a lot of things about Princess Ariana's behavior that the public didn't necessarily know, and that she is often disrespectful and speaks to everyone as if they're beneath her. She did mention that everyone else is very nice and kind, but the fact that Ariana is the heir makes her concerned for the future of the kingdom because she's not a nice person and she thinks that everyone is beneath her. So she shared this with the media. She shared in details how Queen Leona was nervous about how she was going to act, and she shared super intimate details. Like, she probably could be facing lawsuits and potentially even criminal charges because she shared so much to you guys. Like, she talked about their marital issues as a result, which Queen Leona and King Jared tend to get along and do really well in their relationship. Like, they're like soulmates, but the one touchy subject is their different parenting styles, especially when it comes to Princess Ariana, because you guys know that Leona likes to take the more like, we need to be disciplined because we're royals approach, whereas King Jared likes to take the more their kids, let them live a little approach. And those conflict quite a bit, especially when it comes to Ariana. So as a result of this, big news outlets spinning this story, now Princess Ariana has a bad reputation. People are now seeing like, you know what? She's getting older. We thought she was just mischievous as a kid, and that now that she's getting a little bit older, she's starting to take her royal duties more serious. But now they're seeing that, she's kind of problematic, and we don't want a future problematic queen. So this is a problem for us. So now Princess Ariana has a bad reputation, and Queen Leona cares very, very much about her reputation because this is her first, she's the first generation in this kingdom. So she knows in order to keep the momentum going, they have to be well known and well loved and respected. And she has been just brought to her wits' end trying to get her daughter to be more, respectable and dignified, to showcase that she's worthy of being the heir, but she just does not seem to be understanding that actions have consequences. So Leona and Jared are chatting, and she's like, I know that you and I are on the same page about this, right? And he's like, what? About what? And she's like, that this is terrible and that Ariana needs to be punished for this. And he's like, oh, you're seriously upset about that? I thought that it was not that big of a deal. Like, I thought it was a cute little thing. Leona's like, how could you think it was a cute little thing? She has a piss poor reputation now, and she's getting too old for this. People are not thinking that this is cute anymore. And Jared is like, you always overreact when it comes to Ariana, and I just don't understand. You have to understand that she is a kid and that she has to be able to make mistakes without you getting so upset all the time. And Leona's like, she will be punished because she needs to have consequences for her actions. If we never reprimand her for her behavior, she's gonna think that this is okay. And don't you realize why that's such a problem? How can you not see it? She's gonna be the future queen. If she goes through life thinking there's no consequences for treating people like crap, she's gonna be a horrible queen. And Jared is like, you got all that from her wanting a little day for herself? Are you serious? Did you really think it's that big of a deal? And Leona's like, you know what? I don't think you care as much as I do, because you didn't put in the work that I have to get this kingdom off the ground. And Jared is like, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Sometimes I feel like you care more about the kingdom than our kids. And I get sick and tired of it always having to come down to royal duties this and discipline that. And Leona is like, how dare you say that to me? Don't you ever in your life, ever again, try to say that I don't care about my children. And Jared is like, whoa, no, I'm not saying that you don't care about your children. I'm saying you don't care about them more than the kingdom. And she's like, how could you say that? And she's like, if anything, I could say the same to you, because you're putting your kids in a detriment because you don't want to discipline her. How do you think she's going to grow up if she goes through life with no consequence? So I think they're seeing now that Ariana's actually in the background over there. And also remember, guys, they're actually in public in front of their subjects, so they should not be really out here having this conversation like this, especially because it's already bad press for them right now. So Leona's kind of like, let's see, she looks pissed. Jared does too. But I think they're gonna, stop now because they realize like we can't do this in public. But I know that Leona's probably saying to her husband like, honey, I love you, but you were so out of line for what you said. And just know that at the end of the day, I'm the queen of this kingdom. I built this kingdom from the ground up, and my future heir will not go without consequence when she steps outside the bounds of her royal duties. And that's just on period. Well, she didn't say that's just on period, but she said that's just on period. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, look at this. She is furious. And let's see how Jared is feeling. He's angry. Yeah. So I think that Leona is gonna talk to Ariana and tell her she is pissed that she would act in such a way and that she will have consequences for it. So Leona called her daughter over and she's like, I cannot believe that you acted like this while I was gone. And I think that she really can believe it, but I think that deep down as a mother, she really wanted to believe Jared and like, oh, she's gonna get better as she gets older. And she is telling her, you know what, young lady, you are done with this misbehaving. I am not gonna tolerate it anymore, and your dad might tolerate it, but I don't, and you will face consequences for your actions. And Ariana's probably like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything wrong. And Leona's like, see, that's your problem. You don't take us serious because you've always went your whole life with no consequence, but you're gonna learn this time. So what do you guys think is going to happen to Princess Ariana? Do you think that Leona's gonna stick to her guns and really reprimand her for her behavior? Because now she has a horrible reputation. So that is so bad to be the future heir and to already be starting off. You're not even an adult yet, not even a young adult yet, not even close, and you have a bad reputation in your kingdom. That is not good. So guys, let me know what you think about this down below. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think would be a fitting punishment? What in the world is that going on in the background? Lord have mercy. We're going to pretend that's not happening. But okay guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, and tune in for next week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.